Well, it's a frosty Saturday morning. Good morning everybody, good evening and good night, depending upon where you are in the world today. And today sees the beginning of my formal training. So I've been self-training up to now. How effective that has been we're about to find out. And I'm meeting up with Mark, the IAM observer for my area, my region. Contacted me last night, we had a little bit of a chat. So the first thing to do is just a little bit of a get to know you session. So we're riding out to a cafe just for a chat really, and then we'll have a little bit of a ride out, and I guess he's going to give me some feedback. So just for the record, all the way through these sessions I intend to be brutally honest about my own shortcomings. I hope you can learn from these as well, so in the nicest possible way. Treat me as a crash test dummy, well, obviously without the crash though. So yeah, quite excited actually, because normally I'm the trainer, I'm the expert in the room, and today I'm the rank novice, I'm the student. So the challenge for me is to learn. They say of Moses that Moses was the meekest man in the whole face of the earth. And I don't know whether you know your Bibles, but meek means teachable. And I think that's one thing I've learnt about project management. I work with some of the leading minds in the UK actually. I've done over the last 20 years. Everything from CEOs downwards, some real experts, and I generally find when I run a training session I actually learn more than they do. So for me, learning's a lifestyle, it's a habit. But as I said, I'm still the new kid on the block. So everything I've done over the last 8 or 9 weeks since I've owned my bike has really been to prepare and just get me into the state where I can get maximum value out of these sessions. So that's really what my objective is. So so sit back, enjoy the ride, and we'll see how we get on. Mark, I presume. Well, here we are out on my first observe ride. You can probably spot Mark in my rear view mirror there, and he's just essentially told me to do everything I would normally do just on a Saturday morning ride really, just ignore him. He's going to be taking up different positions, watching various stuff where my gears are, use of clutch and brake and so forth.
What we did was, oh, it's a roundabout, what do I do for roundabouts? I slow down for roundabouts. We slowed down for the roundabout, we got to the little giveaway line and thought, oh, it's clear.
Yeah.
And we went.
Yeah.
We could have made that decision probably 200 yards earlier.
So again, we've tried to pick a mix of roads, some single track stuff which we've just done, some windy A roads and a bit of dual carriageway as well. So like I said, for me the last 9 weeks essentially has really been preparing for this day really. because I never saw the bike as being sufficient by itself. My objective, my challenge really, my personal challenge was to be able to ride to the same standard as a Class 1 police rider. Now that's probably never going to happen because I won't have the hours in, but it's, you know, they say if you aim for nothing you'll hit it, so I've tried to pick quite an aspirational target. So for me, owning this bike and the hopefully with the help of the IAM, then at least we can get something like that. I love these corners here. I never do them justice though. So it's interesting, what's going through my mind at the moment is sort of following this slowish car, 44, 47 miles an hour indicated, double white lines down the middle of the road, so I can't overtake anyway. But one of the things that Mark's impressed on me is the need to be legal. So a week ago I'd have overtaken this bloke here, and today I'm not. Having to hold myself back already.
You couldn't have overtaken him legally
No.
almost at any point.
Right, okay.
I don't know whether he slowed down for 40 or not.
And I consciously had to fight myself to stop myself going past him. And did you see my distance closing up on him as well?
What I was looking for was a 2-second following gap.
Yeah.
And that's by and large what you've had most of the time.
Yeah. And I can feel myself creeping up on the car in front as well. Yeah, there's absolutely no doubt at all that a week ago I'd have been straight past this car. Yeah.
So don't just think the only thing I position for is a bend.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Broward Hill, I can't see over it. Where's the best place to be? Have a think.
Well, I'm trying to go in the middle there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Again, I don't want to get too prescriptive, but what I want to say is you take the information in.
Yeah.
Think about it. Think about changing. Number one, your elbows are above your hands. You're you're riding like that.
Yeah.
Now I don't know about you, but I can't stand here for 4 hours like that. It makes my arms ache.
Yeah.
Yeah? That I can do all day long. You're holding your arms high.
Yeah.
Which will mean if you start doing touring or hours in the saddle, this is going to ache, and eventually the lower back's going to start giving you a pain in the arse.
Yeah.
If you just get into the habit of
dropping
your just chillax, just drop
so
your
I'm there.
elbows. Yeah, just drop your elbows, just relax your arms. You're actually holding them up.
Yeah.
Just relax your arms, and what you'll find is your steering becomes lighter.
Yeah.
Because instead of pushing sort of into the floor,
yeah,
you're pushing.
Well, I know, Mark. I'm consciously. I can't help it. I'm like gripping that too tight.
Yeah.
So yeah.
You ever ridden along with no hands on handlebars?
No. No, I could never do it. No.
I'm not saying do it. What I am saying is your bike. You ever seen a MotoGP bike when somebody's fell off it and the bike just carries on quite happily?
Yes.
Yeah. What the bike is doing is it will lean a little bit that way, and then it will lean a little bit that way, and then it will lean a little bit that way. Yeah. And it's constantly correcting itself as it's going through whatever it is, or you know, all the nooks and crannies in the road. So your steering in reality is kind of doing that naturally.
Yeah.
Yeah, very, very.
Because it wants to, presumably.
Yeah. Just to stay upright, your bike is doing that. If you've got up to, I don't know, 140 mile an hour, and let go of everything, you'd see your bike would carry on going straight, but your bars would be doing that. Just as the bike is constantly self-correcting. Now, by holding on, what we're doing is fighting that. The bike just naturally wants to stay upright, and you're kind of fighting it. You're not going to fall off, or you're not going to. But you're kind of fighting it, and you're taking all of that vibe into you. Yeah. By just relaxing your fingers on the bars, that sort of, it's not even shake, I don't know what it is, it's just a...
Is it the equivalent of a skier with bent knees going over all the sort of ripples?
You're just taking out your part of the suspension, I suppose.
Yeah,
yeah.
Okay.
if you grip, you're fighting the bike. If you relax, the bike will work for you. And that's part of the sort of relax the arms, relax the hands, and everything just becomes lighter and more delicate. And that becomes just a little bit easier, and everything just becomes a little bit more, non-entity.
Yep.
Most of your braking is done with these things. See that scoop?
Yeah.
See these?
Yeah.
That's what they're there for.
These? Right.
That's what
Okay.
they're there for. You grab it with your knees. You grab your tent with your knees, and you brake. You should be able to brake very hard one-handed. And I mean brake very hard one-handed.
Because that's taking...
Because that's taking all the weight.
Mm.
If you're putting the weight through these, you'll stop.
Possibly never will.
You
Right.
will. Trust me, you will. That is designed to be the first thing to touch down on your motorcycle.
Yeah.
What's going to be the first thing to touch down on your motorcycle?
My big toe.
Yeah. And what's going to happen?
I'm
going to rat shit very quickly.
Indeed, yes. Yeah.
Yeah. Change your gear and then get your foot back to the peg. Ball of your foot.
Yeah.
On the peg. Not the heel. Ball of the foot. Ball of the foot.
On there.
No, ball of the foot on the peg.
On there. So change gear.
Probably not very comfortable for you because you're quite a big chap.
Yeah. Change gear and then there.
And then there. What that has a tendency to do in motorcycle sort of physics and geometry is, you mentioned cricket.
Yes.
You teach people, did you say?
Yes.
Okay. Do you teach them to stand still or walk in when the bowler starts?
Sorry, we're talking fielders now.
Fielders, right.
Because you're in a very active position. You can basically move in different directions.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Now we're talking slip. How do you want the slip fielders to stand?
I want them to be
on their heels or on their toes?
No, I want them to be on the inside of the feet, toes. Well, because that basically means they can push either way very quickly. Yes.
Same on a motorcycle.
Yeah.
If you're there, you're ready to do whatever you want to do. You can force it. It's called anchoring. You've talked about positive steering. So if I want to go that way, I do that.
Yes.
Yeah. I anchor this foot. Anchors that bar,
yeah.
And that foot anchors this bar. So effectively, when you push, it's real subtle. It's not.
So
massive.
I'm pushing there and I'm doing that. Yes.
You're doing that and you're doing that. I mean, you don't have to sort of physically push down and you're with me.
Yeah, I got you.
But
Yeah.
it's anchoring.
Yeah.
Your opposite ends. If you're on the balls of your feet, you're ready to go.
Mm.
You're anchored because you've got somewhere to actually do. And also, what this does, it has a natural tendency to take weight off the base of your spine.
Mm.
If you're on the balls of your feet, you will actually put some weight through those pegs.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is, 5 kilos, 3 kilos, half ounce, I don't care. But you will put more weight naturally through the pegs like that than you will if your heel is hooked in.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a kind of passive foot, that's an active foot.
Yeah.
If you sit like that, you take weight off there, you won't get a pain in the bum when you're riding for 3 and 4 hours.
Oh, interesting. Yeah.
If you sit with your heels on, you're putting almost all of the weight through the arm.
So it lightens you in that sense then?
I don't think it makes me any lighter. But it lightens the load off your bottom of your coccyx.
Interesting, yeah, okay.
And it changes just how long you can ride for.
Yeah.
And you will also find it lowers, as a result, it again lowers the centre of gravity. The lower centre of gravity on a motorcycle is a good thing because it keeps stable, it keeps cornering, it makes everything just feel more natural and more positive.
All right.
And you will get more of a sense of, you know, people talk about feel. I felt it in the bike. I felt the tyres moving about. I felt it beginning to get. You'll get more feel there than you'll ever get from that.
Because now, from what you said, then I've got a lighter grip here, like I'm holding an egg or a little bird.
Yeah.
I've got my feet there. This is almost very much actually like a slip fielding position. It's very much like that, because it means I've got so many options then.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm now going to say something slightly different and counter whatever myself. We're now on the M1, we're going from London to wherever the M1 finishes, God knows where.
Yeah.
We are board sensors and we are doing 70 and it's one of those really boring days.
Yeah.
You don't need to be prepped and you don't need to be stood like that for 24 hours, do you?
Yeah.
Yeah? If the bowler's running in, it's all going to be cricket today, isn't it? If the bowler's running in, we want to be ready. If the roads are interesting, if the corners are interesting, if we're active, if there's traffic around, something's got my spidey senses going.
Yeah.
That's what I want.
Yeah.
Yeah. IAM board centres on the A5. It's that boring bit between Hinkley and wherever it is, Lutterworth.
Yeah.
Yeah. You don't need to be tensed up and in that position permanently.
So are my feet going to be in a different position then, Mark?
Relax. Just be relaxed.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right, so a lot of feedback there from Mark. Got to synthesise that, got to think about it, but also got to remember to stay upright at the same time. So number one is hold those grips nice and lightly like I'm holding an egg. And number two, just relax my elbows. He said my elbows were too high and too stiff. So I've got to get those down. So let's work on that. So what I'm now doing is I'm shadowing Mark. He's modelling some advanced riding, and he's, if you notice some of the gestures he's making, he's actually pointing out some of the things that I should be aware of, I should be thinking about. So my riding position has now changed actually. I've got to say it does feel better. So my arms are a lot more relaxed, my elbows are down. More in a sort of almost like an armchair type position. My grip on the handlebars is consequently a lot lighter. I've been struggling to actually lighten that grip, but I think Mark's absolutely nailed it there. My shoulders, my elbows were too high in this sort of a position, and actually now I'm down here. The other thing that's been done as well is that my feet position as well is whereas my left foot was pointing right down towards the road between the foot peg and the gear stick. Actually now the ball of my foot is now sitting on the peg, left and right. And it just feels like it's much lighter actually, and I think it's allowing the bike to actually do what it wants to do. But I'm really having to think about it. And I've got to say, as a professional trainer, I take my hat off to Mark. He's doing all the right things. He's giving lots of feedback, he's setting the standard, he's modelling the behaviour. Really helping me, giving me a lot to think about, but not overloading me. It's interesting, as I tense up, I notice my elbows start to rise. And it's a bit weird at the moment because I've not only got to watch Mark, but I've also got to obviously keep my eye on the vanishing point as well. And he's absolutely right. If you get your feet positioned right with the ball of your foot on the pegs, then it actually does take weight off your backside. I can already feel the difference. And what he said is that's an optional thing. He said if you're ploughing along the A5 or the motorway or dual carriageway, then just adopt the most relaxed position. But when you're in a position like this where you need to be more active, more dynamic, then certainly it is an option. Yeah, going around the corners now, the bike feels so much more nimble. That's obviously something I'm going to have to work on.